Hi, how's it going? I'm unscripted, so I'm guessing wildly. And I usually, because of the indicators, I try to connect with the top corporations and um, artists in Hollywood. But I'm a person, a rarefied person of intervention and sort of approval. Apparently whatever I give my support to, even if it's ambiguous, it happens. That's why I ask for know, you guys to contact me so that it's not ambiguous. It's very specific because it really, really matters. But what I end up hearing is antagonism. That people are asking me like, "Oh, is this okay?" I completely lose at that point, because I'm like, "Oh my God, the whole world is, it's it's the bad joke is basically selling your soul is basically what it feels like, and that's what the internet and the telephone going back over 100 years, well over 100 years, people felt that way. That a lot of times we're not prepared for that. Okay, that uncertainties and anyways, I'm loyal to love, and I love people who are educated in a similar way that I am, that has helped enable the world. Okay, and I wish that I had been educated much differently. I didn't have many actual invitations growing up. It felt like a lot of antagonism indeed. Okay, really bad jokes, and because of my childhood, and I see this with many case studies. I've done this research and added cases in my family for sure. That some people are being antagonized, used as scapegoated, purely because of a coincidence, not because of any integrity issues. It's a major reason for intervention. I will simply help you guys in big tech and etc. Okay, so I can really say the banking. But if you want to have a conversation, I'm gonna start flipping. I'm gonna, oh my God, you guys don't really care if you're trying to do that. That's my own family. They try to make a conversation rather than simply realizing the Kurt Cobain epiphany. When I saw him on MTV, it was like obvious, like totally, dude, obvious to me. Now I can put that together in the AI quantification, the identification process, so that we're actually finding the love and not anything else, because that's what the conversation becomes. Unless if you're face to face, making eye contact with someone who you realize, oh my God, this is special. Okay, I want to be that person's loyal servant, okay, partner, etc., team member. I don't know where the lines of, they just didn't exist where I grew up. This is a Kurt Cobain equation. He has to go into the trenches of delusions, grunge. Okay, that's where it's at, in the trenches. And it's stupid. So I'm gonna amplify that if people are making a conversation out of it, because it's obvious that I really want to work with all kinds of people. But yeah, I am afraid to be alienated, okay, or to be around people who don't speak. Okay, that is one of the worst things. Imagine the Thomas Edison nightmare, I do believe. Deaf people try to have a conversation. Text, delusions, who knows. And okay, big tech, the banks, international security, international unification. Okay, that's what the science shows, that it's either that or there's really nothing. Okay. And in my comparison, coming from the very frontier, it's not the same as coming from an immigrant family or from the old world. So it's, yeah, I am completely available to help you guys, but again, all I can see is people waiting to activate any random thing that I do, any slight imperfection, they'll jump on that. Okay, and I'm aware of them. It's not like I'm anything but perfect. Okay, I'm hyper aware, or not hyper aware. I mean, I have that ability. Hyper aware is on paper, basically, and it's all highlighted and indexed, so you can actually sort of quantify it. The equations would literally line up with the text like a Rubik's Cube. Okay, which I can't do because that's in 3 dimensions. That's unlikely. Your mind probably must be elsewhere to do that. Mine is in reality. Okay, I can't read in 3 dimensions. Okay, I don't know if you can. You can make alignments, obviously, but you have to do that. That's why I underline when I read stuff. I highlight. If I don't do that the very first time, it's like scrambling the Rubik's Cube. So how did we get there? I don't know. I didn't make a map. You make a map as you go. You can pretty much, potentially, if you can comprehend what you actually scribbled, find your way out of that. That's why how I left America. I didn't have any sort of guidance. I just had indicators and okay. And at first I saw it, the East Coast, New York, right? And I thought, wow, this is really cool. People are completely different over there. And then I meet the old world, the English woman, if you will, Irish woman, English woman, the Europeans, Western Europeans, and I was thrilled. And I see potential in that. And that's the guarantee of loyalty. Is that without any angst-driven conversations, just purely sort of being in the zone, which most people actually were. I've statistically quantified that. And I just want to be there. I don't want to have a conversation, you guys. You didn't, it wasn't. This is a matter of people's childhood. That things just automatically happen. They're set up. This is the history of the world, really. Because your sibling childhood, the constellation, that's what made it all happen. And man, and I am just as soon as it becomes a public conversation with the media, the psychometric, I become antagonized at that moment, and so any sort of potentially awesome connection, collaboration, friendship, etc., is chattered by the media ambivalence, because they have this long, you're dealing with, if you know someone's complete record and you're trying to trust them, it can be really difficult. That's why I'm only really looking for love, and then in that situation, which big tech, okay, the ones that the media knows, and the ones that the White House knows, and all the politicians know, I would gladly work with them, and then I would love to work with all the artists and the cinematic people and the writers from that safe position at a corporation, because clearly they have a lot of interest, and they're not elected officials. But they are sort of inventors, and I think of myself as an inventor, and a writer, etc. And I want to do that, okay? I really want to help those corporations to achieve miracles and international unification, okay? So to dodge all the idiotic politics, etc. Please just contact me. That's the only thing that I can comprehend as a human being, okay? And I've made some sort of... It's in the media, in science fiction, etc. The possibilities of... I think that somewhere between Batman Forever and The Truman Show, you have AI completely wrapped up there. You have in Enigma, Two-Face, and the Riddler, Enigma. That's the acute negative inner corporate sort of antagonism. And then The Truman Show is this sort of fantasy. Truman, these people are all crazy. Let's get out of here and go watch Netflix, okay?